Good morning, Pastor Steve here. 1 Kings 17, 8 through 16, the word of the Lord came unto Elijah, saying, Arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongs to Sidon, and dwell there. I have commanded a widow woman to sustain thee. So he went to Zarephath. I was recording an earlier show, and this thought came to me, who was Elijah hiding from? And why was he hiding? Well, he was hiding because a little while before he had called out Ahab and charged him with the sin of following Baal. And he had called out the prophets of Baal and of Asherah. And they come up on a Mount Carmel, remember? And they had them make sacrifices, make an altar, and he made an altar, and they put a bull on it, and he put a bull on it, and he dug ditches around it and poured water all over it. And they cried out to God and screamed and cut themselves, their God. And nothing happened. And then he called on God and fire from heaven right now, you know. Then he had him wipe out the prophets of Baal and Asherah. And this really ticked off Jezebel. It fired her wrath, and she said, you're going to die, pal. And so, like a normal human, he ran off into the wilderness. God took care of him for a while, fed him by ravens, and then he said, get you up and go to Zarephath, which belongs to Sidon. Well, who is this Jezebel anyway? Well, she was the daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Sidonians, according to 1 Kings 16:31. And he tells him to go in her own backyard to hide. Remember the story of the Purloined Letter by Edgar Allan Poe? A letter was stolen from a lady's boudoir, and it contained compromising information. And the crux of it was a guy that stole the letter was going to blackmail this count or whoever was involved in it. And the prefecture of police went and looked and searched, and he said, we couldn't find it. Then the guy offered a great big reward for it, like 50,000 francs, and he says, I went back, and I looked, and I checked. He said, they looked under the carpets, they looked everywhere. The big reward kind of prompted him to move on a little better, and he goes back and produces it for the big reward. And the narrator asked Dupin how he found the letter, and Dupin explains the Paris police, he said, are competent within their limitations, but they have underestimated with whom they are dealing. See, the prefect mistakes the minister D for a fool because he's a poet. He knew the police detectives would be very thorough in their search, and said he'd hide it in an elaborate place, and so he hid it in plain sight on the table. When Jezebel was seething with rage and looking for the prophet under every hill and nook and cranny and leaf, God hid him in plain sight in her own daddy's backyard. Be not dismayed, whate'er betide, God will take care of you. Beneath his wings of love abide, God will take care of you. I just kind of love that thought. You ponder that, Pastor Steve.